Hey guys, do you guys remember the last part of Back to the Future where Marty began to disappear because his parents were going apart? Well, when I first came across philosophy, Stoicism, there's an interesting quote I heard from a Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, um, that if anything is going wrong in your life, don't wish to change nature, because if you let just things fall as they go, or else they won't come true. So when I first heard that, I first thought of, oh damn, you wouldn't want your best wish not come true. Um, I'm going to talk about how, though nothing was recorded in Greece, Stoicism traveled from the Golden uh, Greek, considered as ancient Greece, to the beginning of um, death after Christ, through Roman philosophers that carry the core teachings of Stoicism, of not going through these emotions of fear, of envy, lust, and if a sage, which is a student, were to go through them, it was through false judgments, and they had to change that way of thinking. And I'm going to talk about the origins of Greece, how Romans brought it to a renaissance, and in particular, this Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, not even trying to write a book, but it was his diary. Um, the School of Stoa, which is a colored porch, it was a platform where all the warriors came to hear of philosophers. This was after um, Aristotle died, but it was approved when he first heard of this philosophy created by Zeno. Um, Before Aristotle died, he got an out of approval of thinking that we're in this cycle with nature. Then you have to implement logic and implement the ethos. So those were the core teachings of Stoa, but nothing concrete was written down, but was carried on through these philosophers of what was his name? Sorry, Poseidonus. He was the disciple of um, of Penatius. He was a Roman philosopher. He was a founder of the new Middle Stoa that was revived in Rome. The difference between what Romans and what Greeks did, they written them down, they recorded them to pass down, unlike the Greeks. But these core teachings were carried, were flourished and implemented, and it wasn't until this Stoic philosopher Epictetus, he was a former slave, and he was a teacher to Cicero the emperor. He was his right hand man. Learned from him, and we're talking about a person that was lame. He couldn't walk off one leg. So, but he was one of the most famous philosophers in Rome, highly considered by Cicero, and also his successor, Marcus Aurelius. the person in particular I wanted to bring up, he wrote this book named Meditations, which was his personal diary, not even trying to like teach stoicism. Those were his thoughts, what he went through in battle. Just, imagine a diary, you're writing to yourself. But it became a very important philosophical book in stoicism that helped carry the ancient Stoa to, more years to come, which was also, I believe, according to the Britannica websites. I brought Britannica becoming one of the main sources of my references, but that there was upon a time in Rome that Christianity and Stoicism came ahead, discussing what they believed. But Marcus Aurelius, like he looked to me like a person in particular because he was the first emperor to share his throne with a counterpart. And just imagine his diary of, the vanity, all the victory, all the temptations, everything that an emperor, a winning emperor, will go through. What will go through his mind, So he used this diary to plant himself, stick with what he learned. But it was just something to think of when I first looked into Stoicism. When I read what Epictetus said, that if you really wish for something to come true, just let things be, and you'll figure them out without wishing the rest your surroundings to change for you, because there's a likely chance that it won't come true. And I kind of saw that with Marty disappearing. But thank you.